Functionality. The website and database serve as our two main components to our system that we've developed. The database functions as a tool to store the information of authors that are requested. The database provides administrative users to add, edit, and remove information of authors from the database as information changes over time. The main tool used to perform these actions are PHP MyAdmin cPanel. Once within the data tables, the administrative user will be presented with the current information of authors. This current information can be deleted by simply clicking the delete button on whichever author is being removed from the website. If the author needs to be edited, click Edit. This will redirect the administrative user to a section with column names and values. Values are where information can be changed on authors. Once the changes have been made, always make sure that the save settings are the correct settings for whatever action is needed to be done. In this situation, the setting will be save and go back to previous page. Once this has been assured, click Go. The values should now be changed on whichever author was edited. Last but not least, adding authors can be done in multiple ways. 1. Clicking on Insert tab, which will redirect you to a fresh template of a author information page. Here, the administrative user will enter in values, then click Go to add the author. 2. Creating an ODS file containing information on multiple information and importing this with the Import button and selecting the file. It's important to note on this method that the ODS file must contain the name column names as the data table to import correctly. Lastly, if the administrative user is knowledgeable in SQL commands, authors may be added in with the insert command as well. The website functions as a tool to display the information of authors that are requested. The website provides the ordinary user to navigate the website simply by clicking the drop-down box and selecting an author. Once the user has chosen an author, they can click Submit to view information such as some personal information and books the author has written. The user may also choose a different author and click Submit again to find information on that author as well. Hovering the mouse over Wisconsin Center for the book, located on the very top left, will turn the cursor into a hand that indicates that the action to be able to click on the section is now able to be done. Performing this action will bring back the website to where it had started when it was initially loaded. On the right side, take notice of a column box that holds a light shade of baby blue. If the mouse is hovered over main page and you click on main page, that will redirect you to University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee School of Information Studies Wisconsin Center for the Book website. On this website, information about the Wisconsin Center for the Book will be presented to the users. For example, Board of Directors and News. Clicking the back arrow in the browser will redirect the user back to the Wisconsin Center for the Book website and allow continuation of finding information on the authors of interest. Technical design. The overall design of the system is broken down into three portions: the database, the PHP script connector, and the website with WordPress. The design of the database is based on containing multiple data tables. With multiple data tables, more specific information can be given. Organization of information can also be greater with this design in comparison to having all the data in one huge data. This results in better normalization. Within the data tables are columns that correlate with the data table name. Values are given to these columns that will be added or edited later down the road by the administrative user. The data tables are all given ID names, which causes the table to take information from one another, and can be used to display information from the data table. To create this database in an organized fashion, the create table command was used along with column name and data types. This process was repeated for every data table that was created. Once all the data tables are created, data from the ODS file may now be imported. This leads into the PHP script design that was created. The purpose of this PHP script is to bridge together the website and the database. It allows the website to pull information from the database and display the information on the website in a certain fashion. This leads to having the website displayed and viewed in a certain way. The website is designed to allow any user to navigate the website without any issues. To begin, at the top, the website contains a clear title, Wisconsin Center for the Book, that states what this website is for. This title is also clickable to bring the user back to the home screen of the website after navigating. Under the title is the subtitle, Wisconsin Author, which clearly states the reason for this website. The website is to show information such as birth location, current location, books written, and more on the authors. The website comes with a simple drop-down box that contains all the authors of Wisconsin. Click and choose what author you want, click the Submit button, and all the information on the author chosen will be shown below. Also on the website is a direct link to University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Wisconsin Center for the Book website. This explains what the Wisconsin Center for the Book is, who the board of directors are, and updates on news and other things. Every piece was implemented together to create the system that is presented. The design of each portion demonstrates good organized coding that would allow for anyone in the future to edit if it was needed. Breaks were put in spots that needed breaks to explain what action each portion of the code performed. The data tables were created specifically for certain things instead of one clump table. We created the website using WordPress for simplistic setup and easy maintenance for the future. Using WordPress, we were able to design the website to also be user-friendly and create an organized HTML script as well. Testing. Since there were 3 portions of the system, 3 types of testing were done: HTML, PHP, and database testing. The majority of testing was done in a trial and error type of fashion. HTML testing consisted of testing the code to ensure the layout of the website was the design that was desired. Simplicity was key in this portion. From the user side perspective, we wanted the website to be as easy as possible to use and navigate without causing any confusion. With a simple setup, the user will be able to use the website without any sort of frustration that may lie ahead. Tying in with the HTML were direct links to another website and a redirect to the home page. Once the links were attached, testing began by clicking on the header and link icons on the mock page to ensure redirections to the proper locations. Once this was completed, coding for the PHP connection began. PHP testing consisted of testing the code to ensure that the website and database were properly communicating with each other, so the data could be pulled from the database and sent to the website to be displayed. Once the connection was made from website to database vice versa, displaying the information in a certain format was required. So another test that was performed was displaying the information in a certain view with PHP commands. Creating this portion consisted of editing the script a couple times, refreshing the main page, and selecting an author until all the information was displayed in the format that was desired. This was repeatedly done until the view and information were displayed correctly on the website. Database testing consisted mostly of data integrity, ensuring that all information pulled, displayed, and edited is correct. Also making sure that the database has no errors where if the PHP would try to talk to it, no communication errors would occur. Other testings that were done were the creations of extra tables and columns to try to expand the diversity of information, but in the end, some of the tables and columns that were made for testing were cut off. Everything came together quite well after testing. Documentation. The vision for this project was to modify the website available from the SOIS server and update any author information present while having potentials of additional things like author's personal website. The duties came out as follows. 1. Develop a database with the author information. 2. To complete a web page represented by WordPress to build a website. 3. To link the database and WordPress site and get the conjunction approved. And 4. To get a hosting service which provides approved security and to be also able to walk the product owner through the process of linking the page to the hosting service. The roadmap for the project consisted of 4 categories: stakeholders, product requirements, product requirement priorities, and estimated time per step. The stakeholders are as listed: Dr. Joyce Latham, the Wisconsin Center for the Book, Professor Kevin Trainer, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee School of Information Science, and Team Big Hero 6. The product requirements revolve around the database and web page. We needed to connect the database and web page together with a PHP connection so the web page can display and pull information of authors. The web page was also designed with the user in mind. Simplistic but stylistic. Lastly, we needed to find an improved hosting service and step-by-step guide of how to display the product. The priorities that were placed are as follows. The database was number 1. It needed to be filled out with the author information. Number 2 was the website being built. 3 was ensuring the website functioned correctly, was easy to use, and navigationable. 4. Linking the database and website together so the information can be displayed of the author's searches. 5. Collecting data on hosting services and price quotes. And lastly, creating the guide for using and maintaining hosting services. Useful tools that were used within the process of the project came to Slack, an application that allowed fast communication between group members. We also relied on email for communication with other stakeholders. JIRA, WordPress, cPanel, PHPMyAdmin, and Microsoft Excel were also used. WordPress was used by us to create the website. cPanel and PHPMyAdmin was used to create the database. And Microsoft Excel was used to create spreadsheets to import data to our databases. The documentation falls under agile principles in a few ways. Customer satisfaction was clear to us, and we did our best to always keep that first. We did this by keeping the web page simple, keeping the database specific for the administrative users for maintenance, and keeping the information simple as well. Stakeholders were involved with almost every step of the way for the project. Face-to-face meetings often occurred, and chat-based communications occurred multiple times in a day, every day. We have a few recommendations to future teams that want to maintain this process or even create new things. First off, organize early, and often to get everyone invested. Clearly communicate the direction you plan to take the project. Understand how people make decisions if you try to guide anything, and eliminate as much distractions as possible. Training. Assuming that the administrative user already has an account, to begin, the administrative user must log into the database known as cPanel with their username and password. Once logged in, the user will be greeted with a plethora of options that the user may now choose from. In this instance, the user will be using PHPMyAdmin. This is the first one listed that is located under the Databases tab. The user will now click on this. From this point, the user will be greeted by databases and its data tables on the left-hand side column. The right side of the screen consists of data, SQL commands, and other things. Above everything are options the user may choose from. For example, structure, SQL, search, and so on. Adding, removing, and editing tables are the most important part of creating a database. Without these, there are no databases. To start off, select a database that has been created. In this case, the database that is being used is called Big Hero _Wisco CFTB database. Once the database is open, the user will be presented with columns that hold values for the information stored and options that can be used. Let's start with editing existing columns. The user will notice that there is a red circle that has the word drop next to it. Clicking on this will remove the column from the data table itself. If the user clicks on the table name, it'll bring up all the specific values that it holds. For example, if author were to be selected, the values of the birth and death location first name, last name, and more will be presented to the user. Here, the user can now edit the author's information. At this point, authors can both be added or removed if you wish. Removing tables can be done under Operations tab when the user is within the data table. It gives plenty of options, but the one to remove is labeled as Delete Data or Table, and the user will click Delete the Table, drop if the table needs to be removed. Onwards with adding or creating tables. To do so, you must click on the SQL tab. This will bring up a blank white box that the user will enter commands to perform actions. To create tables, the user must use the Create Table command and list the column names afterwards. This training falls under the Agile principles in a couple ways. The training allows for the user to become diverse within cPanel to adapt to changing environments. In this case, authors' information consistently being changed or added. Sustainable development is ongoing because the work never ends with authors' books, awards, information, and other things. The database itself is as simple as it can be right now as an essential element.